on your end?
We are live.
And welcome, everybody. I'm sorry we're late. I'm sorry instead of a forecast, it's only a 3-cast. It is what it is. Life gets in the way. People get toothaches. People get flat tires. You know how it goes. But anyway, we're here by the grace of God. But I want to see if I could share a clip with you today that I think you'll all find very interesting. I had a very challenging week, to say the least. I had to go to Vegas. We might do the Quantum Summit in Vegas. And I could tell you that day and a half or 2 days before I went to Vegas, my dog, I let him out. This is the bubbliest dog in the world. He'll lick you. He'll want to French kiss you. He's just a love 24/7, 365. He has a massive stroke and he's not in good spirits. And so with that said, I'm going to go through a couple of clips here. One was the clip right when he was not feeling well. This is actually a couple of days after where he was starting to bounce back a little bit. And then the actual clip of what happens when you go to Staying Alive. See, a dog doesn't lie, folks. Yes. A dog tells you the truth 100,000% of the time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So with a little bit of luck, if I'm able to present, okay. Let's see, share screen, right? And then I got to go to my data. Okay, here it is. Tell me if you all can see that. Can you see that?
We can.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Let me see if I can play this. This is the dog. He is not in good shape. I mean, you can see he's shaking. He's scared. He would walk up to people. He wouldn't normally walk up to people and want to hang out and be friendly. He would be scared and walk the other way, not eat for like 3 days. He was a mess.
Come on, baby boy.
That's Amber talking in the background.
Shaking.
Bad shape. Well, you know, I'm a holistic guy. We don't believe in those things, you know, that start with a V and end with an X. You know what we're talking about. And so we went to holistic veterinarian, and I did stop sharing, correct?
No,
I didn't.
It's still on. Yeah,
it's still on. Okay, let me see if I
just
remove that. So I went to a holistic doctor in Melbourne. She put our stethoscope on. She put the little heart thing, you know, underneath his heart. He's got some heart murmur. Really didn't diagnose him all too well, to be quite honest. Gave us some vitamin tablets. I said to Amber, because I had to leave. I had to go to Vegas. I was booked, ready to go. I got a bunch of places to go see, potentially to do part 3 of Quantum Summit in instead of Cape Canaveral in Vegas. And so I had to go. So Amber had to hold down the fort, and she's crying every 29 seconds with this dog. Well, I said to her, bring him at the center. I want him at the center, and I want him to stay there a minimum of 20 hours a day, nothing less. And I want him to do at least 2 sessions on the Therify. Well, this is the result of that, which is going to blow your mind. Okay, present. Share screen. And here we go. And here we go. Tell me if you can see my screen.
Yep.
This is what happened to the dog. And
Maxie, come on, let's go. Come on.
The dog is back, Ma. Back to normal. 3 days solid in the system. And look at him. He's back fucking normal. Sit, almost back to normal. Sit. Good boy. Give me friends. Give me friends. Give me friends.
Oh, wow.
We have the red light district over here with the Maxie boy. Say hello to Mama. Say hi. Hi, Mama. I sent this video to my mom. My mom is crying.
Boy's back, Ma.
3 days solid in the system, and also 3 days solid in the plasma med bed. We have 2 technologies over there. And look at him. Look at him. He's amazing. Amazing. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
It's so incredible.
Can anybody dispute that? That is a miracle. I mean, normally when a dog has a massive stroke like that, the best thing to do is that they pass on to the other side. Not only did but he came in because normally we do the same routine, 3-4 times a day. They go outside, they do their business, they hang out with the manatees, they hang out with the dolphins, they play with turtles. They got a turtle now in the backyard, this big tortoise thingy that's there, but we're not allowed to touch it because it's like an endangered species. And Crispy wants to kill her. Whoever it could be a she, well, it could be a he, or it could be a she, or it could be another thing. We don't know. But it was pretty hectic. It really, really was. So we're going to show you guys some clips today that I think you will all enjoy. We're going to get to those right now. Do you want to do your clip first, Elisa?
You know, I would, only because I know yours go into very like specific things, and we've been talking about this. You know, anybody who has been following everything for the last 4 years, this guy explains, I'm not sure who he is, I think he has a podcast. He talks about where we are, where we've come from, and I just think he says it so eloquently. And for anybody who's tried to tell friends, associates, family members what's been going on, I just love this video. So I'll cue this up and we could start with that. And
Well, I want to ask Carmen or Mel a question. How was Vegas, first of all?
Well, you know,
Just 'cause
Vegas,
I've got to leave pretty quick.
the heart of Vegas, I can only take about 2 days of that nonsense with all the lights and the freaking crazy people running around and all the pretty people and all the rich people gambling their freaking money away. It's complete total lunacy. I think it's like Disneyland for adults, to be quite honest with you. It's not my vibe. I don't even know if I would ever live out there. If I did, it would have to be far away, at least, 30 minutes, 40 minutes away from the nonsense, because that's not who I am as a person, right? And so it's a nice place. The hotels, we stayed in a really nice hotel. We stayed at the MGM Grand. A lot of cars, a lot of fancy cars. The roads really suck. They should really stop, shut it down for a week and repave the roads. There's no lines. It's really run down. With the amount of money these casinos make, for crying out loud, they should be able to pave those roads in gold, right? You would think. And but it's really run down. There's a lot of homelessness. There's a lot of crime. Depending on if you make the wrong turn on the wrong block, it could get real, crazy. If you will, real shady, if you will, real fast. So it's definitely not the kind of place that I would want to bring up a family. That's for sure. Yeah.
Where did you, which hotels did you take a look at?
We took a look at the Sahara. We took a look at, the names are really bad with names, but Mike Barrow.
Elhorn.
There's one that's like a little bit off the beaten path, about maybe 6-7 blocks away from the Strip, that I'm considering. It's got a room that's got 13,000 square feet. I met a guy yesterday who's really good friends with all the hotel casino owners. He's very wealthy, and I'll talk to you ladies about that in private, because I want to make sure I respect that guy's privacy. He's a super major whale. But anyway, so we made some really good contacts. I was able to meet at one of the parties at Staple Crew the first day there. Well, not the first day, the second day there. Ninja, the economic ninja. I don't know if you know who he is. He's amazing. And him and I just literally hit it off immediately, because we're like two birds of a feather. Really cool stuff. I really enjoyed it. But other than that, definitely not my vibe. I don't think I could ever live in the heart of Las Vegas. Maybe the outskirts, potentially, yes, but not
Henderson or somewhere. Yeah.
There's a lot of nice areas from what I understand. Yeah.
So
yeah, it was great, really great. You want to show your clip first, Elisa, and then we'll go with mine?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's do that.
Y'all heard the big news?
Okay, tell me if you could see this.
Tell us the big news right after Elisa, please.
Okay, because I have to go in about 15 minutes.
Oh, you want to do? Okay, well, I'll do. I thought we were listening.
Are you allowed to talk about it freely? Did you talk to Louis?
Yes, he announced it on his show this morning. He is running for the governor of California as an independent conservative.
Who's this?
Louis Herms, Truth Tour.
Oh, wow. Okay, wait, let me see. So I have it in there. I'm sharing. You don't see it, so I'm trying to see what I did. It's in the. What did I do here?
I think it's really good for all of us that have been out on the road doing shows, everything, it gives it definitely a big voice, especially California.
Okay, so I shared screen, but I don't know why it's not popping up. Do you have to enable it to go in, Mel?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so I'll hit it now.
Oh, this guy. Yeah.
All right. So I think the whole world by now has seen that Trump retruth the fact that the last 4 years and Joe Biden was a movie script. It was an acting job. Joe Biden was taken out unalived in 2020. But I just want to say something. See, this is one of those moments where a lot of people are going to say, I told you so, I told you so, look, we were right. It's not about that. Right now, more than ever, I just hope that people see the fact that the last 4 years was nothing but a joke, nothing but a movie script to wake up the masses to the truth of what this country has been ran by for so long. As Q says, you must show the people. Sometimes in life, there's things you can't just tell people and expect them to understand. If Trump would have stepped aside in 2020 and didn't do what he did right now, you would never have known the cabal. You would have never known the people in the shadows. You would have never have known their plan to destroy humanity. If he would have came out and told everybody in 2020 that Joe was an actor, that they had a evil plan with this pandemic, that they overthrew an election in 2020, they spied on his campaign, the Crossfire Hurricane, that's all coming out too. See, if he would have came out and just told everybody this, the fake news would have shot it down. No one would have believed him. And we'd be in a lot of trouble because these people would still be swimming in the swamp. So that being said, I want everyone to think about what has come out in the last couple of weeks. One thing we have talked about on my show relentlessly is how we have been under a continuity of government where Trump, Xi, Putin, and all these other leaders have worked together for the last 4 to 8 years. Do not forget, by the way, the hat that says 45-47 is an operation. 45-47 is a military operation, also known as Q, and Trump is the commander-in-chief of that military operation. So that being said, go back where Trump has now confirmed many times that he's served 3 terms. 1, 2 behind the shadows, 3 back in front of the people. But what is he talking about? He's exposing every aspect of what has happened. You got the auto pen. The auto pen. Well, who was running the auto pen? We know it wasn't an actor, right? And by the way, if Joe was taken out in 2020, you know what that means? That everything we said with the inauguration, when it, in 2020, where it was fake, and there was a 3 cannon salute, which is a tribute to a fallen soldier at a military funeral. He flew off in a private jet. Should have been Air Force One if he was the real president. And there was no one at the inauguration in 2020. It was all a movie. And look what's coming out, by the way, with AI. All these real movie clips, it looks like, all these generated prompts. You see what's happening? This is exposure of how bad things can get. You show the people, and then you pull it. So right now, we are at the end game. Why is that? Well, Putin, remember, Trump and Putin have been working together for a long time. But all of a sudden, Trump got mad at Putin to take the optics off. See, you can't let the enemy or the American people know that you're working together. So Trump has to pretend to be mad at his best friend. Trump was mad at Putin for what was going on in Ukraine. But look who's trying to start World War III right now. Mm-hmm. Ukraine, a.k.a. the cabal. They're now bombing nuclear sites and stuff in Russia. They're trying to start World War III. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. And when everything comes out about Russia going in and taking out the biolabs in Ukraine, with Trump and Putin and the continuity of government, the operation, destroying all the money laundering systems, the biolabs, everything in Ukraine. See, the optics won't be on Trump. They'll be on Putin. Putin's telling the world what's happening. And lastly, we got this fake state of Israel, where they are literally genociding Gaza. Children. Bibi is relentless in trying to destroy Gaza. And Trump's not having it anymore. And finally, people are waking up to understand that Israel is not Israel of the Bible. Israel is a founded state, just like Washington, D.C. was. It's no longer Washington, D.C. And just like the Vatican is not a part of London. See, Washington was created by the cabal a long time ago. Israel was created a long time ago by the cabal. And Bibi knows he's on his last leg. He's a puppet. So he's bowing to his masters at the same time he's about to get the hammer from Trump. Wow. And on the keyboard, I remember saying Israel for last.
saving.
See, I'm not here to prove anybody right. I'm not here to say I've been talking about this for 4 years and you should believe me. No, I'm here to pray that you finally wake up to maybe life was very, very different for a reason. And this is a wake-up call. So we can move forward, united together, creating a new country, a new world without so much corruption and evil, aka a swamp. God is restoring his earth. Jubilee of 2025 is unbelievable. And all I know is that united we win, divided we fall. Where we go one, we go all.
Yep, absolutely. I got some really incredible clips here too. Also,
Yeah, you know what? Q plus, which is they say is Trump, was mentioned 47 times in the Q drops. And you just like when you go to a funeral where they always say it's the dash that counts between the years. So it's the dash 45-47 is what counts. Is he was still commander in chief, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So,
And I think for those naysayers that, well, not even naysayers, just people that just have no clue and they don't understand and they rely on the news, I think that guy summed it up really well. It's a great clip to be able to let people know like exactly what has happened and why it's happened. And he backs it up with a lot of facts. And, you know, people need to start realizing what's been happening.
Yeah. Now, this guy is one of my favorite guys. I think, Maureen, you were responsible for introducing me to him, and I'm addicted to him, even though he's a Bitcoin guy. I'm an XRP. I respect Bitcoin, because if it wasn't for Bitcoin, XRP would not be here. We had to fall on Bitcoin's sword to create the XRP, which will be the final Bitcoin. That's my argument. I stick to that. But this is a great clip.
Computer screens are blue lit. The reason none of them are red lit, the reason none of them pay attention to circadian biology is because that original technology was developed in a government program that Bobby Kennedy knows about, and I happen to know about because I went to medical school at LSU. For those of you who've never heard about Operation Paperclip, you think it's all conspiracy theory. So at Tulane Neurology and Tulane Neurosurgery in the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s, the CIA started a program there where they would do all these crazy things to monkeys. The CIA wanted to see how they could control things utilizing different things like drugs and things like that. Where the neurosurgeons got involved, which is my clade, we would drill tops of the heads off, put wires into the thalamus, put electricity in there, and kind of see what kind of behavioral changes we could have. One of the guys that was in that program was a guy named Professor Delgado. When he saw that we could control the behavior with the wired device, he said, what if we do it wirelessly? So he checked it in monkeys and checked it in bulls, and it turned out you can do it wirelessly with RFID chips and semiconductors. Then the CIA took it to the next level. They said, well, since this is electromagnetic radiation, what if we did it through light through screens? And it turns out you can. And that's the reason why all your computer screens have the frequencies they have. So why is this all important? Well, the person that set this meeting up between me and Bobby is the patent attorney that made sure that Google and Meta have those things so they can control the things that we all do. Where did the original idea come from that started off in MK Ultra with the CIA? You're going to be surprised when you hear this. It came from the mafia in Las Vegas. They wanted to build a new city in the desert. They enclosed it all, blacked out the windows, invented slot machines that were blue lit. And they found out that they didn't have to take a gun, stick it in your face to steal your money. Then they even got smart. They said, let's give people free alcohol while they're doing that. And they found out they got the money quicker. And that's when the CIA got the idea to start this program. That's really how it started. The reason that...
See, the mafia is not that stupid, guys. And that's why me being that I have, you know, gangster blood I was born in Sicily, obviously. I wear my blue blockers. You know, I was born at night, but not last night. And besides the fact that I am highly allergic.
Well, what he's also saying is how light therapy can actually do something. And
100%.
With proper, I mean, because we're all just light color and sound, right?
100%.
So
100%.
Blue works on the consciousness.
Yeah. Totally. I got another clip for you guys. I mean, I got clips after clip after clip today. We're just going to go right through the
I'm going to have to run though. I
you do that.
So
you do that.
Thanks, Carol.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Next time, I won't schedule anything for this time.
Yeah,
just in case.
just be available on Monday just in case we need to exercise the flat tire theory.
Yeah.
Right? Thank you.
Okay. Much love.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay, there she goes. And here we go. Let's see this one.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Can you hear it? Can you see that?
Yep.
Child tax credit, but it also includes MAGA baby savings accounts for children that are born before January 1st, 2024, under 8 years old, U.S. citizens, and have at least one parent with a valid social security number. And when this tax provision becomes law, the child will, if the parents seek to do this, will be set up with a savings account. Essentially, it's a 401k for a newborn baby, and child's relatives, their parents, can contribute up to $5,000 per year of after-tax dollars annually to that account. And then later in the baby's life, at age 25, savings account holders can withdraw up to the full balance of the account. Upon reaching 30, the account holders can access the full balance of the account for any purpose desired. So it's a great initiative for new parents.
Do you think that they should pass the big beautiful bill?
Do you think
Yeah.
you think about that for 1 second. They've been talking about us being traded like cattle. They fingerprint our feet when we're born. Yep. They do all this stuff, and our social securities are being traded, but someone else is keeping all the money. Now, all of a sudden, it's out in the open. Gee, I think that's a major breadcrumb. What do you think about that, Lisa?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, but it's a breadcrumb to those of us who know what's been going on, because I would say, you know, it's like this much of the world, of the population that knows about this. So it's about time that they're switching it. But again, we keep coming back to this. It all comes back to Nasara Jasara, right? That's what this, everything is coming back to. Every single last bill that's being passed, all of these financial initiatives, right? It's like little things. And if you put it all together, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, and you know, this is the kind of stuff that I love to feed myself with. You can learn more from these short videos. Why would you send your kids to school? This is the real stuff. This is the real McCoy, right? I could learn more in like one weekend. I didn't learn nothing in school. I don't know about you, but I know I didn't learn a thing, because everything that they taught me, other than English and math, I don't use.
Yeah, and even that. Look at the last 15 years or so, the new math. My daughter was in first grade or third grade when they did this, where you had to literally, like, you know, put your arm around your head to pick your nose, like, instead of just adding. It was this crazy. So not only are they taking things that are supposed to be simple, they're making them ridiculously stupid to further make kids feel detached from what logic tells them is true.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And guys, if you think you got what it takes, send us a little videotape of you being able to talk about these subjects, and we'll have you as a potentially, you know, a special guest on our show. Sometimes the forecast is 3 casts, and right now it just turned into a 2 cast, but the show must go on, as they say in Hollywood. But let's play this next clip.
Look, I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to say out loud what everybody already feels and is too afraid to name. The world is not broken. It's rigged, engineered, systemically inverted, and sold to us as normal. You don't live in a society. You live in a managed plantation of exhausted humans born into debt, trained to obey, and told that freedom only exists if you can afford it. You work your whole damn life just to barely afford water, food, shelter, and a few days off, while the earth itself produces all of it freely. Food is not scarce. Water is not scarce. Energy is not scarce. It is gatekept, hoarded, packaged, metered, monetized, and worse, it's poisoned. They poison the water and then make you pay for it. They dump fluoride and chlorine and pharmaceuticals into the tap and call it public health. They poison the food and call it safe. They fill it with glyphosate, dyes, plastics, pesticides, and then package it in boxes that say natural. They poison the air with industrial runoff, chemtrails, and false weather warfare, and then tell you climate change is your fault for driving a car. They poison your mind through the media. They poison your time through fake education. They poison your body through the false medicines. They poison your soul through shame systems designed as religions, dressed as religions. And when you resist it, they call you insane. You've been taught to believe that money holds value, that labor must hurt, that rest must be earned, that you must deserve to live. None of that is true. You've been taught to accept paying to drink water from the earth after it's been laced with chemicals, paying rent to exist on land that no one built, paying for education that removes your intuition, paying for healing that never addresses the root disconnection, paying to be punished if you stop performing for the machine. All of it, every part of it was designed not to liberate you, but to keep you just tired enough to not rise. And here's what they'll never tell you. The infrastructure is already built. The shelves are already there. The trucks are already on the road. The gas is already in the tanks. The planes are already on the runways. The fields are already growing. Everything we need already exists. The only thing in the way is the myth of money, because it's not money that makes the world go round. It's people, it's movement, it's presence, it's awareness, it's conscious choice, it's consent. Someone consciously chooses to shut off water. Someone types the order that disconnects your electricity. Someone drives past the family in need because the system told them that the meter running is more important. Every piece of the system is run by a person making a choice, and we can choose otherwise. Not one single person on this planet needs to spend their whole life doing one job just to barely survive. Not one soul should be stuck in a checkout line for 40 years, or on a truck route they can't ever leave, or in a cubicle until their back collapses. We can rotate, we can travel, we can share, we can contribute wherever we are. We can stock shelves in a town we just arrived in. We can farm in a village we're passing through. We can care for elders in one place and then build homes in another. Everyone has something to give. And even if you don't have a skill, you have presence, you have effort, you have care, and that is enough. So here it is. This ends with us, not by fighting, not by begging, not by burning down the system, by walking the fuck out of it, by remembering what life actually is. Shared land, open food, real skills, free travel, voluntary care, contribution without coercion, exchange without hierarchy. This is not fantasy. This is the world before Mimic took hold. And it is the world again if we choose it. So how? Start locally. Start now. Connect with people who are done pretending. Share foods, share tools, grow gardens, offer rides, offer shelter, trade skills, host circles, create resource-free zones, build parallel systems, create a directory of who can do what and who needs what needs done without any middleman. Stop waiting for permission. Be the economy, be the network, be the breath. You are not lazy. You are not crazy. You are not asking for too much. You're just remembering that you are not a product. You are not a number. You are not a worker unit. You are not here to obey. You are here to be sovereign, to be present, to be alive. And everything in this world that tells you otherwise, from the electric bill to the grocery checkout to the job interview to the social media feed, is lying. And you already know it. We don't need to fix the systems. We need to stop feeding them. Let it collapse under the weight of our withdrawal. Let it rust while we rebuild what breathes. We need to stop pretending, stop complying, and stop apologizing for wanting to live. This is not radical. This is remembrance. And the minute enough of us breathe it, the mimic cracks, the gates fall, the orchard returns. This ends with us. Let it be now.
Was that a great piece, or was that a great piece?
Excellent.
You know,
That was really good.
These are like, sometimes I send you these in the group chat at like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. You realize what time it is when I send some of this stuff. It's unbelievable. And but let's go to the next one, and let's see here. I got to cue it up. I know I got it all queued up here, guys. Just bear with me. I think that was number 3. This should be number 4. Yeah, this is great. Okay, this is a really good one too. All right, share screen. Here we go. Can you see that one?
Yes. Oh, this is powerful.
Yeah.
Okay. You're saying they're brainwashing. Okay, you're saying these people that are experts in brainwashing, using the Department of Education to brainwash our children.
Yes.
What are they after? Why are they doing it?
Well, if you want to move a country from a free individualistic economy,
which we have.
Yes, or had.
Okay.
To a planned economy, you have to do it through the schools. You have to dumb down and brainwash, change the attitudes and values. You have to completely, social engineering has to go on constantly. And many teachers know what I'm talking about. And people are going to say, well, when did this start? And who on earth ever did this? Why would a plan like that be allowed to be carried out?
That's right.
Well, then you have to go back to 1934, which I will do, and we have to go to the 3-pronged fork. Okay. So I do think that the watershed year, although you can go back to the early part of the century when the Rockefeller Foundation and the Carnegie Corporation were deeply involved in education, and that it was decided then that Carnegie would deal with the international part and Rockefeller domestic. So they commissioned the American Historical Association to put together a study of the social studies, and they came up with lots of volumes, but I have one little volume, Conclusions and Recommendations for the Social Studies. And basically that little one is an original book. I wish I'd brought it with me. Too bad. But I don't even dare let it out of the house. It's so important. It called for changing the United States through the schools from a free individualistic economy to a socialist, collectivized, planned economy in the New World Order.
It says that in the book?
Yes.
And that book was written when?
In 1934.
By who?
It was the Carnegie Corporation paid for it. The American Historical Association put it together. And
can people get that book in the library?
No.
No,
they can't. They were very instrumental in getting the Elementary and Secondary Education Act passed, which, as I said before, changed education from knowledge, content-based, academic, to performance-based behavior, And from that time on, because that was necessary for what we're looking at now with school to work agenda is the planned economy is performance-based.
So they're training workers.
They're training
not thinkers, not leaders.
Exactly. At that time, you had a general, Buck Chisholm, a Canadian general psychiatrist, who was a very close friend of Alger Hiss's. And he gave a speech in 1945 to the World Health Organization, which basically recommended getting rid of the conscience.
Wow.
Yes. And he said we would do it through the schools. We would retrain the teachers to be little psychiatrists. He said it is an international system they're looking at. They're going to change the behavior of the children. They're going to change the teachers' training. They're going to do everything. He told them everything.
And they didn't believe him?
No, they just, well, you know what goes on.
You hear that? I mean, that sounds like what George Carlin was saying. They, basically train you just to be smart enough to run the machine. You don't ask questions, right? And they literally take all your benefits away slowly. It's like a little frog in a cooking pot, very slow.
That's right.
And then they disappearing wages and overtime and all the bullshit. I mean, it sounds just like that skit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And one of the things, I forget where I was reading it, and it might be connected to what this lady was just talking about. There's actually scientific proof that says they've worked it down to a number system where it takes 6 hours a day for a period of 12 years to fully indoctrinate and be able to take the creativity out of a human. And so what do they do now the last couple of years? They're telling parents more and more, well, your child should start school now at 4 and 3 and 2. And then you've got parents that are working, right, that put them in daycare, which is all by design, right, to take the mother out of the home, to have the kids be raised by the state and be indoctrinated. And this has been, unfortunately, until recent, where more and more people are realizing this. We just thought that was the way to go. Think about, like, years ago, I remember if someone decided they weren't going to college, right, it was like, oh, why isn't this person going to college? What? And now we think about it so differently, right? Like, why would you? It's going to rip more of the creativity and make you more into a drone. And the most educated people, unfortunately, are the ones that are the hardest ones to get through to about this awakening.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like I've become like an evangelist of XRP because I know where it's going. I've created gazillionaires already. And this thing hasn't even gotten, past $4. You know what I mean? And people who want it early that can catch a vision. But I talk to some of these people who are waitresses or busboys, or they work at the gas station, and I tell them about XRP. And it's like I'm talking to like the wall. I'm talking to a bunch of sheetrock. And it's like, dude, you're going to be enslaved for the rest of your life. Just taking, $500 here, $200 there, $20 here, $50 there, sacrificing, not going out to the fancy dinner with some girlfriend that you're trying to get laid with, okay, and doing the right thing can get you out of the gas station, can get you out of that restaurant that you dread so much, or the boss that you hate so much. Just one little carburetor adjustment away from changing the trajectory of where you're going to end up, and they don't listen, and it blows my mind. It's like, dude, do that. I'm trying to freaking help you, man. You know what I mean? And they don't get it. But check this out. This is a great video here as well. Short and sweet and right to the point.
Bitcoin Maxis won't like this. Dubai just chose XRP over Bitcoin for a $16 billion real estate project. Yeah, you heard that right. One of the wealthiest cities on earth didn't pick the so-called king of crypto. They picked XRP. Why? Because speed, scalability, and real-world functionality actually matter when you're moving billions tied to physical assets. This isn't some meme coin hype. This is serious money, serious infrastructure, and XRP is leading the charge. The firm behind the project is Dubai's top dog in real estate tokenization. They could have chosen Bitcoin. They could have picked Ethereum, but they didn't. They went with the one chain built to move value fast, cheap, and at scale, XRP. While Bitcoin takes minutes and costs dollars to send, XRP handles transactions in seconds for fractions of a penny. That makes all the difference when you're tokenizing ownership of skyscrapers, not just flipping JPGs or stacking sats. And this isn't just another crypto partnership announcement with no action. Dubai is building a real $16 billion system that connects the blockchain to real-world real estate. XRP isn't just part of the plan, it is the plan. Let that sink in. XRP isn't trying to be digital gold. It's being digital infrastructure, and the world is starting to notice. Follow for more real-world XRP updates.
I don't think anybody can say it any
Bitcoin
better
Max
than that.
Yep, that says
You
it.
know, I mean, it's unbelievable stuff. So, what'd you think? I mean, you have all these choices. Really, there's like 49,000 tokens that are complete total garbage. 98.988% of them are all total garbage, right? They chose XRP. Why XRP? Oh, I think it's already moved trillions of dollars. Gee, it never made a mistake, not even for 1/100000th of a penny. Gee, it moves within 1.2 seconds to 4.8 seconds, depending on how busy the network is, and it costs nothing practically to move.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer, right?
So, I mean, I want to make a suggestion to everybody who's listening. We, both Mel and I, we look for these clips, we try to find things, and sometimes it's easier to send this to people and let them just, as opposed to trying to convince them and explain it and talk to them. And right. I mean, these clips are very helpful because at least it's coming from a third party. You could they're going to choose to believe it or not, but at least it might be a little more receptive, and it saves you a lot of the breath of trying to argue with people who are, not quite educated about this yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're in a war, whether people like to believe that or not. We are in a war.
Absolutely.
They have tried to make men into women, demasculine, or demasculine. I don't know how do you say demasculine, demasculize.
Yeah, to demasculate.
Demasculate, okay, men, and try to turn them into women with all this bullshit. This is another short clip that I found completely fascinating, and we're going to share this with you. So I know a lot of you guys are too busy to be sitting there and scrolling and watching this. So this has become our business, and because you guys have children and you got soccer moms and little ballet for the kids and little league and all this kind of shit, we take the most compelling stuff that we could find, and you can watch a 1-hour show and you could get up to speed on where we're at. So I think it's a great way of doing it. I really do. Okay, let's share the screen, and one more time. Here we go.
If you want to take over a planet, okay, if you want to completely take over a planet, the first thing that you have to do is you have to take out the alpha males or the strong males from the planet, because the strong alpha males protect the divine feminine. Through television and films, how they are feminizing men more and more and more. You'll see men dressed up in female clothes. Holding the cane is a phallus or male energy. The two circles on either side are to control the male energy. This is not to empower the female in any way. This is a trick to make it look like that it's empowering the female, when in fact it is taking away the protection from the female. The feminism movement that happened in the 60s was to destroy the family unit from the inside out.
It's very easy. They take away the guns. They take away the alpha male to protect the woman. Now everybody's vulnerable. Now everybody is screwed. Why?
That's right.
Because
and then they take the children away from the mothers.
Exactly. Okay.
And they try to make mothers feel guilty or women feel guilty, right? There's a period of time where if you wanted to stay home and be a mom, like you don't want a career, you don't want to go into the world, you don't want to dress. And think about how women dressed, years ago. Like you had to wear a suit, you had to look. It's just all ass backwards what they've tried to do to just screw up our divine way of living.
Absolutely. Now this is a clip that I've been telling. Go watch anything 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, and look at how people used to look like back then, and look at the way people look like right now. Do you think this happened by sheer coincidence? And everybody's I see people in their 50s, in their late 50s, on a walker, and nobody's asking any questions. And it blows my mind, right? But this
not to mention the weight, Mel. Listen, if you look at old pictures of people on the beach, like from the 70s, from the 60s, everybody's thin. That's what happens when you're eating plastic and you're eating all kinds of crap that they put into the food, and they've polluted the soil with that can't be digested. It's turning it into fat, and then
the food was much better back in the 60s, a lot better, by 100,000% better than today. And this is what your schools used to make you go through. It was like going through military school. That's why everybody was in great shape. Look at it.
People are shocked at what American high school gym class looked like in the 1960s. This footage is from one of the 4,000 U.S. high schools that followed La Sierra's physical education program that was pushed to be the standard model by JFK. According to the La Sierra physical education standards that were outlined in their 1966 handbook, the minimum push-ups that a student should be able to do is 16, and they should have at least a 7.5-minute mile run. Considering most modern Americans struggle to even complete 5 push-ups, this 16 minimum is quite shocking. The top group that was outlined in the handbook is Blue Team, and to be a part of this, you had to be able to perform 12 handstand push-ups and at least 14 pull-ups, which are crazily impressive standards. Considering 1 in 6 modern American children have obesity, it is a shocking sight to see how seriously fitness and health were being taken in the 1960s, and how even the president was helping push forward this higher standard of physical education in school. Many people wonder if America as a country will ever return to a place even close to this. But considering the trends in obesity and the culture shift, people are...
I mean, you know...
It's so sad.
It really is. It truly is. There's not much you could do about it except, you know, to make people aware of this. We have the right president in there. We really do. But, you know, it's going to take all of us. You know, we are being censored. We are being poisoned. We are being... Our clothes are... If your clothes are not hemp or cotton, 100% cotton... You're wearing poisons that
or
are getting
linen, which is
linen's
healing.
the best.
Linen's the best because that's what they used to use in the hospitals. That's what everything was. They used linen because it was a healing fabric.
Exactly correct. You know, let me go to my next clip, which is, oh, this one's great. You're gonna love this one as well. Love this one as well. Okay, screen share. Let me pop this on the screen first. Okay, present. See if that's the one. That's the one. Let me.
Trump immediately seized on the news.
I need to open with a very critical breaking news announcement. The FBI has just sent a letter to Congress informing them that they have discovered new emails pertaining to the former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's investigation. And they are reopening the case into her criminal and illegal conduct that threatens the security of the United States of America.
I think at some point you're going to have to see arrests because there's no way that you could put out this kind of information, get everybody pissed off, royally pissed off, and nothing is going to happen. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's two-sided. I think there's the folks like us who know we're watching a movie, who know that there's no way they could have whatever it's up to now, 500,000 sealed indictments with up to 99 people on it, that all of a sudden they're going to just start. This has been going on for a long time. They've been taking them out. They've been Rommel deathing these people. They've had people that are in masks, people that maybe did cooperate, and it's them that are now singing the tune of a different narrative. So I think for us, we kind of know we can live with it. Doesn't really bother me too much. However, you've got the majority of people who just need to see this because they don't believe the narrative that we believe and that we, you know, back up by all of our research and the people we listen to and watching, you know, executive orders and the law of war manual, et cetera. So I 100% agree. I don't agree from the perspective that I believe these people are really being taken out and brought to justice, because I personally believe that happened, but it needs to be shown now. Now the people need to see perp walks and whatever else methods are going to be implemented to bring these people to justice. because some people don't even really fully understand what the crimes were.
Absolutely. Now, I don't remember this clip, but I'm going to play it because if it's here, it's got to be compelling. So let's play it.
It was proved at the turn of the century that the human body is almost 80%, 90% water, and it's also got electrolytes in it, which we know to be salt, potassium, different minerals. That means we're a salt battery. No different than the car battery, different than something like that. And there's a patent actually called the Cali patent, which I'll hold up here for the camera to see. And this patent actually was developed in 1897, and not much has been done with it because at that time everyone was afraid of electricity. In this case, Dr. Clark developed a product using a 9-volt battery. I'll just show you in the back here. There it is, 9-volt battery. And this particular unit, you just snap on your wrist with 2 wristbands.
We only have a minute. Yeah.
You snap it on your wrist just to prove that I'm a circuit. I push the little green light, and the thing is on. And if I put my hands together, you can hear that I'm a circuit, and I'm a closed circuit at this point. Now, with
Why
that,
do we get a sound when you put your hands together?
because I've closed the circuit. Now, when I take my hands apart, obviously the electricity is now being able to flow through the body. The electricity can't go through the digestive tract. So in the digestive tract, to kill the microorganisms, the specific parasites, she's found the effectiveness of the black walnut, which the native Indians used for cleansing many years ago. The black walnut, in its green hull form, kills many of the microorganisms. And in conjunction with another product called wormwood and cloves, typical cloves that you would get at the store, these 3 in combination have the ability to go in and kill all the pathogens.
There you go. You know, that's why, you know, we put together Staying Alive. Staying Alive is a system that, I guess you could call it electricity that permeates through the air. Okay. It's invisible, but yet it goes through your system. It allows your cells to optimize. That's why my dog that we showed earlier was able to recover from a massive stroke in 3 days, 20 hours a day inside Staying Alive in Cape Canaveral. The dog, the most bubbliest dog in the world, all of a sudden wasn't talking to anybody, wasn't eating, completely 180 degrees. It's a dog that I did not recognize. It was disheartening for me because I'm the owner of the dog. I love this dog. My wife and him are like, you know, freaking frack, right? And it's like, okay, you bring him to a holistic veterinarian, and they can't do nothing for you. Yeah, I'll give him these vitamins. Okay, the vitamins don't work. Let's take him. They maybe work a little bit, right? Let's take him into the center. Let's leave him there 20 hours a day. If the dog's going to die, I'm not going to let him die on the terms of the Matrix. He's going to die on my terms, okay? Or we turn him around, and he turned around. You saw the video earlier. It's at the beginning of this video. If you're just joining us now, go to the beginning of the video when we're done here, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So we have technology that's miraculous. Dogs don't lie. Mel Carmine definitely doesn't lie. My dog is not going to sit here and tell you, oh, yeah, I'm an actor for Mel Carmine. I'm here to fool the world. Okay? This is what we have. I mean, it's amazing stuff. And so to have a place called Staying Alive in Cape Canaveral is miraculous. It's a gift to humanity. It's a gift to animals as well. You know, obviously my animals get priority because they are my animals, and it happens to be my center, right? We don't let people come there with like Great Danes and all that stuff. There are centers that will allow that are specifically for that. And maybe, who knows, maybe I might open up a center because I love animals more than I love people. And I might open up a center at one point just as a humanitarian thing when we're allowed to have this reevaluation to just bring in animals and let them heal, because it does work. But it's a long-term process. He stayed in there 60 hours in 3 days. And those 3 days, he also had 2 plasma sessions per day. And the turnaround was remarkable. Maybe we should show the tape one more time because I think it's worth showing. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Mel, you keep using the word miraculous, and I don't even think we should use the word miraculous, because I think all of these things our Creator put on this earth, they're normal, they're frequency based, it's nutrition, it's different kinds of, I mean, if he put us on this earth, he put us on an earth that could help heal us, and more importantly, keep us healthy, because most of what we have is because it's been caused. So that, it tells me it's not a miracle. It's what we're entitled to. It's what we were meant to have here. And it's been taken away.
Yeah. So the happiest dog in the world turned out to be like this, literally after a total of a day and a half. This is a day and a half in already. He was actually worse than this, but you could tell he's not good here. And he's shaking. Okay. Look at him. You see him shaking. He's scared out of his mind. He would walk away from people when normally he walks towards people and he wants to, hang out with you and lick you and all of that. Happiest dog ever. No question about it. Look, see how he's shaking? He's like, we got other video of him that is really amazing.
Oh, yeah, you're shaking. Aww. Why are you shaking? He just looks so sick, his whole face and demeanor.
Amber was devastated. I would call every 10 minutes. I would call from Vegas to see if she's okay. So I'm worried just as much for the dog, if not more so for my wife, because they have an incredible relationship together, right? Yeah. And so when she told me that he started to eat, I said, that's a great sign. And I'm going to play here the other one, which is the happy ending, which is he's really 95% out of the woods. I bet you by the end of this week, this dog will be totally recovered as if it never happened.
Right.
You understand? And so I'm playing because there's new people coming in right now, and I got to play it again because it's amazing.
How old is Max?
Max is like 14 years old. Now,
oh
this
my God.
is my dog.
So to be like that anyway, like so lively is incredible.
Exactly. So now this is my dog. 3 days later, 60 hours in the system.
Maxie, come on, let's go. Come on.
The dog is back, Ma. Back to normal. 3 days solid in the system. And look at him. He's back to fucking normal. Sit, almost back to normal. Sit. Good boy. Give me friends. Give me friends. Give me friends. Oh, you're a good man. We have the red light district over here with the Maxie boy. Say hello to Mama. Say hi. Hi, Mama. The boy's back, Ma. 3 days solid in the system and also 3 days solid in the plasma med bed. We have two technologies over there. And look at him. Look at him. He's amazing. We love him. I mean, he sleeps with us every night. He's like monkey in the middle. He sleeps right in between me and Amber. He likes to cuddle, and to see him come back to normal, it's a joy. It really is. I mean, if this dog died, my wife would be a basket case for months.
Something, animals, like that's the other thing. If you look at the way, and I'm going to be careful with the words I use, right? Mm-hmm. But, going back a couple of decades, the lifespan of dogs and cats has just completely plummeted because in addition to what they give humans, they're giving, that you have to go and you got to get every year and every 2 years and you need this and you need that. And then look at the crap that's in their food, right? It's just everything. And these are members of our families, and to be able to have these healing modalities for them too is incredible. Yeah. I mean, dogs getting cancer. I don't know.
This dog was adopted off the streets of Costa Rica along with Crispy. We had Crispy for a couple of years. So when we brought him to the veterinarian, they look at their teeth and they say he's approximately, 2 years old. So we had him there for, we were there for, Amber and I were there for 11 years. Crispy was in the beginning. So he might be 13, 14 in that range for sure. So to see him recover like that was amazing. I mean, it was breaking my heart to see him really, because we know what the dog is. Typically, he's very happy. Yeah. When you own your own dog and you have an incredible relationship with your own dog, it's amazing. Oh, look who's back.
Hello.
Let's see if you're still on.
Yes, we are. Yeah, we are. We were just showing the dog clip again because there's a lot of people that have come here towards the middle, towards the end. Just to show them the technology we have in Cape Canaveral, which is miraculous. And it is. It's definitely miraculous. So people are commenting, how old is the dog? Yeah, dog's 13, 14 for sure. Yeah. Crispy is another dog. I mean, look, in Latin America, you live in Costa Rica. I lived there for 11 years. I lived in Escazú. I lived in Grecia. I lived all over. But anyway, needless to say, I mean, people just take their dogs and let them loose with no collar, no nothing, and they're cars hit them all the time. I lost count how many dogs I saw dead on the side of the highway in Costa Rica, and it really is disgusting.
didn't Trump just pass a law or something? Like if you're a dog owner, you get tax deductible, or a pet owner, because there's
Is that so? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Listen, this year alone, I must have spent close to $6,000. And
It's
you
for
know,
anyone under $100,000, earning under
yeah.
$100,000. I
Yeah.
think they don't pay
Wow,
taxes or
that's
something.
crazy. Again,
I think
Jasara.
it's, yeah, he's
So how
proposing
much
it
is the
anyways.
tax break on dog if you own dogs?
No, I think it was no taxes. I don't know, because they're caregivers or something like this.
I mean, you know, we pay tax on dog food when we go buy dog food, or if you go
Yeah.
buy, you know, veterinarian services.
Yeah, they were saying how much it costs to keep a pet, and
Yeah.
it's especially older people. You know, that's their only companions, and
That's right.
you know,
Totally.
don't quote me on anything. And you know how you just see something, and I was listening to it, and I don't even remember who was talking about it. So
Yeah. Well, guys, I'm sorry that today two of our so supposed to be a 4-cast. It turned out to be a 3-cast, and it was a 2-cast. Now it's a 3-cast again. But the show is coming to an end. Any closing thoughts or comments? Where is Trump? What is his plan for the next couple of weeks, couple of months? I've been out of the loop because I've been in Vegas, so you girls can enlighten me.
Carol, you want to put your 2 cents in first?
yeah, there's just so much. Where do you start? Everything is, you know, I think it's all playing out, just like that clip of that gentleman that was talking. And I've watched quite a few of his clips. And I don't know, listen to Jesse. He's got lots to say about everything. So your friend
yeah.
Jesse.
Yeah.
So
well, Jesse's making us a clip for the documentary, by the way. He's agreed to do it. So
yeah.
the documentary should be out in a couple of months. In a couple of weeks, I think we should have at least 1, potentially 2 trailers. So that's gonna be pretty cool.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And yeah, Mel, we need to talk about that because I sent you mine, you know, so I want to just
I sent it to him already. I sent it to
Oh, you did? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I figure, you know, like I think the clips we're trying to get the message across, but I think we have to kind of be true to who our personality is. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're a yeller and a screamer, you'll be consistent. If you're a soft-spoken person, you know, you get your message across that way. But I think the point is when you pull all these people together, everybody, no matter what their personality, what they're talking about, everybody's message is the same. And it's just got to end. And you know, and I got to tell you, I'm with like a lot of business people a lot of times because of, you know, kind of what I do, you know, as a coach. And they don't even, so many people aren't even aware.
No, I know.
That there's censorship. They don't even know.
Well, the liberals are all screaming about their censorship. You know, they're being censored or something. You know, what are you talking about? So yeah, I've got Josh Reed. He's sending one in, and Joe and Scott are sending one in. Jason Q. And I was going to ask Lewis Herms. You know,
yeah, please. The more the merrier. I need about 20 to 25 clips. And the documentary is going to end up being about an hour and 15, an hour and 20 minutes in that range. And that's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
That's terrific.
I'll send mine tomorrow because I have a show tomorrow. So you know,
I can show you ladies. Did you see part of the documentary, the first cut?
I did, but
yeah, a little bit. I think it's important to play or even show people because I'm just telling people you've done absolutely an amazing job. You know, it's not like a little home job.
People don't realize that Mel Carmine could have also been probably a very successful, you know, movie writer, director, you know, whatever in Hollywood but anyway, it's never too late. And the fact that we're going to get our med beds and we're going to be able to live to be 2,000 years old. Who knows? I might be that might be my next career.
You never know. So someone in the chat just asked, what is the documentary about?
Sure. The documentary is about collectively, we are absolutely decimating mainstream media. When you take the amount of podcasters versus the amount of mainstream media who's lost tremendous amount of credibility, right? But there are so many of us. And I'll give you a classic example. Ted Nugent, guys filled up thousands of stadium, can't get past 4,000 views on his video. Probably he's got a vocabulary all his own, level of intellect, probably 190 freaking IQ, right? He talks like there's no tomorrow. He's got, this truth, logic, and common sense locked, cocked, and ready to rock. He's got all that lingo going on, and he's an entertaining, but because he is so right wing, so pro gun, so pro, against abortion, constitutionalist, they don't like him, so they put the brakes on. So they don't like Mel Carmine, they put the brakes on. What I want is the speed bumps to completely disappear on social media, 100,000%. Not even one little speed bump, none. As long as I'm not threatening somebody or saying, hey, I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to kill you and your whole family, obviously that would be room for dismissal. But if I'm not doing that, right, and I say, hey, this phone here, this cover is white, but it's green, I should be allowed to say that it's white if I believe it's white. Correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
So if we can get rid of censorship entirely, 100,000%, we will not decimate the mainstream media. We will pulverize them.
Mm-hmm.
We will literally put them into extinction mode. That's what the documentary is all about. And it's very well put. The words are chosen very, very carefully. We have worked on this for months and months and months with our editors, with people that are volunteering, like Elisa and like my good friend Carol Maureen from Costa Rica and many others. And it's going to be a work of art. People are going to be absolutely shocked that an ex-pizza guy with a few very intellectual people and a great team like we have can put together such an incredible documentary. And it is going to be a 5-star documentary. Now, when you hear the name and when you see the actual thumbnail, the chances of it not landing on Donald Trump is next to nil, because it will land on Donald Trump's desk 100 trillion%. Bet everything you have on it. That's exactly what's going to happen. Because you know what?
July? You said July?
I would say July would be my, if I can have my cake and eat it too. But I would say mostly, when's the next holiday when summer ends? What's that?
Labor Day.
Labor Day. Labor Day would be more in tune, simply because what day on Labor Day? Do you know exactly what day Labor Day falls on?
It's usually a Monday. That's when we celebrate it.
But what month? What number is it?
September.
The 19th? September what?
I could tell you right now.
Yeah, please.
So Labor Day is actually September 1st.
Okay, September 1st.
Monday, September 1st.
Yeah, so this gives us an entire 2 months to get the trailers out there in the next, 5, 6, 7 days, start to create the buzz, release the name of the documentary. When you guys hear the name, it's going to knock you off your chair. My chair is a little big, so it might be a little difficult to do that here on my end, but I'm the guy that created the name, and I think it's a beautiful name. I think it's going to, get a lot of miles. So once that is out and the word starts to buzz, what I would like to do, if we can get 3 movie theaters, one in Los Angeles, one in New York in your neck of the woods, and one in Miami, do a premiere free of charge. I don't want to make any money on this. This is not about money. This is about getting rid of the speed bumps on social media. Hey, you want to do business in America? We have a constitution. Yeah. You got to abide by our constitution. You cannot disrespect people who have an opinion. Freedom of speech has to be restored 100%. That's what the documentary is about.
Yeah, even after we've been canceled, I mean, shadow banning is just horrendous.
It's
nobody.
I sit in my back office and I watch the numbers go backwards sometimes, and we put out some incredible content. You know that.
Yeah.
So somebody's got to do something about it. If it's meant to be, it's up to me, right? And so I'm a leader. I don't mind rolling with it. I know that I have a lot of leaders that say, "Hey, that's a great idea. I'll run with you." And boom, and then things start to happen. You start to put things on a paper, sort of like building a house. It's like a blueprint, and then you start to execute, and you bring in the right people, and the right shit happens.
Yep.
And it's going to be a hell of a documentary. And I can't wait to release the name of the actual website, which is already locked up, the name of the documentary. Everything's going to be on one-page website. You'll see everything, and maybe that can happen in as early as like 10, 12 days or so. We'll make an announcement maybe on next Monday's show.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's perfect, September, because July, August, people are still on holidays and stuff, and you want to come out with a bang.
Yeah.
So, and it's before 9/11. So
I got to go to Panama. I don't even know if I'm going to be in. I might be doing a podcast from Panama. I have to ask Amber. I'll let you.
Oh yeah, that's next week. I think it's the 4th to the 7th, Mel.
The 4th to the 7th.
Yeah, I think those are or the 7th to the 10th, maybe. But it's next week.
What is
okay? 7th is Saturday. This coming Saturday.
One of the organizations.
Oh, the 9th. The 9th is Monday, right?
That Mel and I are working with. They're having a trip.
A huge gathering down in Panama.
Oh, okay.
Gathering.
Panama City, Central America. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's right next door to me.
Yeah. So the 9th, I'll be in Panama. So 2 o'clock. What is it? 2-hour difference, Maureen?
Yeah, you're 2 hours earlier, right?
So I'll be doing a podcast from there. 2 a.m. will be 4 p.m. here Eastern. So I'll be doing it from my hotel room.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to be bringing my laptop, but I'll bring my phone, and I guess we'll do it from here.
As long as you turn the phone this way.
If not, maybe I will skip that one and bring in Larry Ballard or somebody else, and you guys can run the show.
Yeah, we got to give Larry notice if we do, because I think he has a podcast around the same time. So
yeah,
we'll make arrangements the next few days to make sure if you can't make it. Yeah, great.
We'll absolutely figure it out. Well, thank you guys for joining us. I know that it's supposed to be a forecast. It turned out to be what it is. It is what it is. We roll with the punches. You know, if you're a rolling rock and you gather no dust, you'll do okay. Never give up.
We had the dog. So there's your foursome.
There you go. Absolutely. Thank you, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.
Okay.
Bye-bye.